That's the problem with these video game, background musical pieces. You just get caught in it, and you're like, oh, why doesn't it end? And it just goes and goes and goes, so on and so forth forever. Hi, everybody. Right now, Nick. Hello, Nick. Thanks for watching. Um, Great to be here in your home, part of your life for the moment. Um, yeah, here we are. So it's 2020. Um, I don't know what we're gonna work on tonight. We'll see. There's a couple different things that I have in progress that I want to show you guys. Also, there's some new stuff that I kind of want to work on, so we'll just kind of see what goes. So yeah, let me just show you guys what's been going on here. As soon as I remember what button to press, I think it's this one. There it is. All right. Yeah. So this is like some sort of fighter, I guess. We're putting in some details now. I know it's space. Oh hey, and Preston Miller is here. Eric Brock must be there as well. Hello, gentlemen. It's great to be here in your homes. All three of them. I'm in many homes right now. Homies, really, if you think about it. It's here we are. Here we are, Preston Miller, with your red panda profile pic. Um, so yeah, we got this like kind of fighter sort of thing. I'm not quite sure what it is yet. So there's a bit of that aerodynamic bullshit, and I say bullshit because it's space. You don't need to be aerodynamic in space. That's it's 3D space in space. You don't have air. You don't got gravity. No bad times. No lonely times. Just the times you want. Yeah. So it's got this kind of funky profile. I'm liking it from the front and from behind. So that kind of gets that look I'm looking for. I don't know about the side profile though. Like it just looks like I don't like it's something about that cockpit especially. Hopefully you guys can see this. Here we go. Yeah, like just kind of like here, like almost I feel like what I got to do is like I feel like John Madden. Well, you see what you got to do here is go through this, and then like this. If you hear any loud heavy metal music, that's my grandmother watching The Report. Adam Driver. It's about the 9/11 or not 9/11. It's about the CIA torture report. Pretty good film. Some have dismissed it as liberal propaganda, but I think those people are also in denial. Anyway, that aside, yeah. So I don't know. I've just been kind of working in some smaller details here. Let's see if I go into object mode and render a little bit. So you can see here we got like rivets in the corner, plating, and that sort of thing. Of course, the big question is like, does it really matter if you have tiny little spheres to mark each bolt? If it's close up, yeah, that matters. It matters quite a bit. If it's more of a distance thing, it kind of matters less. Regardless, they're there. If I need to simplify in the future, I can probably I can actually, you know what? Let's run this through a deform process now. We'll just do or simplify or simple deform. Is that it? No, decimate. That's the one. Yeah. So even if we just run it through decimate here, we just collapse it by a ratio of I don't know 0.7. Yeah, like it's like you can look at it from a distance at that point and you're just like, okay, well, whatever. Yeah, that's minus 2,000 spaces right there, and like that's not something that you typically notice from like I don't know, like say there's like 8 of these things, and they're all flying through space, or through the atmosphere or whatever. You're usually going to see them from like this distance, unless it's like super duper close up. So yeah, I mean, if it's getting right up in the back, then at that point, yeah, like tell decimate to go home. Yeah, and like you can't even make out the difference for the most part. Most renderers will, work that in somehow. Some will do it great, some will do it bad. It kind of depends. Yeah. Anyway, I got an audience question here. What sort of MPG does it take? Unleaded? I actually don't know the fuel source. Maybe someone smarter than me in math and science can come up with some bullshit that sounds plausible. I'm looking at you, Adam Sadawi. Thank you for letting me into your house. It's great to be here again. Just doing my thing. It's a great honor and a privilege, and I'm happy to be here. Anyway, what else? Yeah, so that's coming along there. And then you might be wondering, hey, what's up with this little shelf here, this zone here? Also, just a side note, I love this on macOS, like where you shake the mouse and it gets big. Like now it's like, hey, look at that, and you can see what I'm pointing at. Trouble is, I have to like shake the mouse while I'm doing it. So if it's like a quick thing, it's great. But if not, anyway, yeah, a little side there. But regardless here, so yeah, this area is kind of like a shelf looking, and that's because I'm planning on putting a little sort of point defense dome there. Just for comparison here. Let me show you guys something. Excuse me, researching macOS on Wikipedia, just like every other growing boy. Learning about Macintosh Toolbox. God, can you believe we gotten this far? This is fucking nuts. Like, this is like 20, 30 years ago. It's like, oh yeah, the computer has to be designed for the operating system for it to run efficiently. Now we're just like, dude, are you just mix and match your parts? You kidding me? Raytheon laser turret, I think. Something like that. Yeah, this is it. Oh, there's not really a great picture here, is there? Oh, here. Yeah, just like this. Like an I guess this one in particular is a anti-drone weapon. Let's get that bigger. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, something kind of like this, where it's like, hey, this is designed to, like, shoot down missiles or debris or, that sort of thing. Like a sort of, either a sensor housing. And I don't know. Like, I feel like there does need to be sensor, I don't know, emplacements, hardware or something in this device or this chip here. I'm just not sure how to do that without adding more detail than I need. But that's part of it. We'll work that out. That's part of the process. Let's see here. And actually, while it's on my mind, because I totally forgot about this yesterday, I meant to add some missiles on this guy the other day. And it turned out that all of my active projects on my SSD just disappeared. So I spent some time restoring them from a backup, which thank goodness I have that. But kind of got me off track, just one of those things. But what can you do? That's why you have your backup. That's why you keep a RAID full of terabytes of data space you think you'll never ever need. Fun fact about my RAID, actually. I started with like a 16 terabyte RAID 5, like enclosure with 5 drives. I'm down to, I have like, I think, let's see here. I have 2 terabytes left. I got this thing 2-3 years ago. So, that's, God, wish I hadn't failed math so many times. That's like, what, 13 terabytes I've used in the last 2-3 years? Oh my God. Like, I remember getting a 250 gigabyte hard drive and getting just overjoyed. Like, if small Brett could only see what he sees now, I don't know. Those are times. Okay, those are a bunch of light wave objects. I know I have one in here with a DAE. Yes, that's the boy. All right. So it looks like I got some Hellfire missiles that I downloaded off the internet somewhere. I'll be sure to check the README to credit the person when we get a second here. Boy, I wish that was going on. All right, there we go. Okay, cool. All right, it's AGM Hellfire. So this isn't strictly accurate. I think this is more just sort of what, it's determining a look. I don't think this is going to be being the final missile. I think that'll be something I end up designing on my own. Mostly because I'm a perfectionist, and also because I'd rather do it myself if I could. I don't know. Just feels kind of lazy, like letting the final project be like, components of someone else. Not that there's a problem with it intrinsically, but I don't know. I'd rather it be like, hey, this is the whole thing that I made. That just rings more with me. But people can do what they want. That's all good. All right. Wow, that's a big missile. Okay, so this king of a missile has landed inside the middle of my ship. And what are all these cylinders? This is ridiculous. Are you kidding me? Okay, well, that's not going to fly. Okay, yeah, so it looks like that was a DAE file, which means collada, which means fuck that, because I don't want to rebuild somebody's thing, because that's lazy. Well, I know, I'm lazy. Let's be more accurate there. Let's be real. Okay. Second. Where are you? There you are. Okay, we have. Okay, well, it's good to know where the textures are. Here we go. OBJ, perfect. Come on in, OBJ. What? What? This maniac, what did he do? Alright, well, I guess I see why it was free. That makes some sense. Alright, well, I guess let's just fix this guy's missile real quick. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and just. Let's see here. What can we do? Can we parent these? God, these are all. Alright, so let's just go ahead and do that. I parented it to the fighter, evidently, which is dumb. What am I doing? Yeah, this is one thing I don't actually know in Blender, is like combining multiple objects into one mesh. Which I think is just more of like a. It seems like more of an efficiency thing, because like I guess you could get along like this person did and just put a bunch of objects together and then you have your final object and that works. But also, like if I can't seem to take, like, yeah, look at that, like I've taken off part of that boy there. That's not what I want to do. Maybe it's like designed to be like like you can take it apart. I don't know why it's like, yeah, like that's not gonna work. I'm not liking this. I'm not a big fan. I think we'll have to think about that one a little more ultimately, just because I'm not sure what to do about this, and I don't want to like make you guys sit and watch me what I do. But I mean, I guess you're watching the whole process anyway. But look, I don't know how to do it. Okay, like I want to show you guys something cooler than me being a dingus. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. That's the state of things there. Yeah. All right. Well, let me show you, guys, something pretty wild here that I've been working on as well. Go. So we'll try and switch this into cycles in a second here and hope it doesn't crash. But this is a pretty cool city shot I've been working on. So just let me go ahead and blow that up for you guys. I know it's smaller. So this is just like the solid frame. So what's happening is you got these like starfighters, these Ekatant starfighters, swooping and hollering over Diwali, the capital city of Madolga. The actual animation, or rather, I should say, the actual animated camera is going to be like this. So let's just start that there. So it kind of comes out like that, and then it's like. It's pretty sick, I know. Well, I hope so. Yeah, I've spent, I think, like 6-7 days on this so far. Not a whole lot of time in the grand scheme of things, but enough for me to be like, hey, this is significant. Let's see what it looks like in cycles and hope it doesn't crash. If I crash and I go away, guys, I apologize. Hey. Also, straight up, Cycles is just a good render engine. Like RenderMan is fantastic. Don't get me wrong; its photorealism is unprecedented. But I don't like. Overall, this is pretty good performance, and the fact that like I can do this and I can still visualize my way around the frame without it loading into a you know, like the memory doesn't take that long to buffer visually. This is off GPU base, which is nice. A little more instantaneous. Like if I switch it to CPU only compute, it's kind of garbage. Yeah, here we go. Let's load. Yeah. Yeah, like it just takes longer. Like, well, no, I don't know actually. Maybe it's just my system. In all fairness, I'm running a Hackintosh because I'm a piece of shit. I'm actually switching over to Windows here pretty soon. The one thing that's been holding me up here is just been getting a big thing of storage where I can just throw all of my shit on it. And so that way, if I really need something from like, say 10 years ago, I can get it. Yeah. Actually, update on that. Ordered my NAS, so that is actually going to be moving along here. So then we're going to be Windows boys, which is going to be a whole different level of pain. But I mean, that's computers now anyway. Like, it's all just different levels of pain. Actually, I don't know. I'm sure somebody on the internet somewhere has done like a qualitative analysis of cycles and CPU versus GPU. I will say, like, it doesn't. I don't know if it looks like it or anything, but like just from the feel of things right now on my end here, I'm just working with a mouse. Like it feels like it works. Like I can kind of deal with that. Extra couple seconds of buffering, essentially. Is it the most accurate thing in the world? Well, no, but that's okay because that's why you do renders here. So actually, let's do a quick test render here to let you guys see it in all its glory. We're sort of in the process of rendering this now. I've probably got to do some stuff on my Windows side because I keep crashing after 20 frames. But in all fairness, each one of them is kind of just like this. Excuse me. Goodness gracious. God. Good golly. Wow. And we're waiting and we're waiting. On Windows, this series of frames seems to render pretty quickly, actually, like surprisingly. I really think the problem is not the problem, but I think the most render space is being used up here. There's like these kind of shadows on the inside, so it's kind of accounting for those. And then there's also motion blur happening, which I don't know if it's better to render with motion blur or without it. I don't know. I've been taking the approach of oh, that's cool. It looks like that crashed. See, oh, yep, here's our problem. CUDA error, illegal address. It's illegal. Okay, so let's see. That actually might explain some things that have been going on in the last couple days here. It's like 144 frame sequence, and it's been like shitting the bed at I think 5 frames. Oh, that's cool. That's a great thing to see. Okay, so you know what? Just as a test here, and I'm gonna just see what CPU on the render looks like here, specifically on Mac OS. All right, let's see what happens. It could also be because I'm streaming right now. I mean, that's a strain on system resources. I don't know if it's as much of a stream as it thinks it is, but benefit of the doubt, whatever. Blender knows best. Okay. So it seems like it's prioritizing it in the same way. I'm gonna try not to scroll in too much in case I fuck with it, but yeah, like we're doing much better already. So I think that might, I'd hate to say it's your guys' fault. It's my fault. It's my fault for streaming and trying to render out one of these crazy frames. But yeah, doing it on CPU seems to work better in this situation. So take what you can get. It's never going to be perfect. Nothing you do on a computer will ever be perfect. But I mean, what's perfect anyways? Like, it really depends on what you're doing. Like, if you're using Blender or, DaVinci Resolve or any other application that eats up a GPU, then, GPU is going to be your shit. But there are still plenty of tasks that don't require discrete graphics. One of those things I can think of is like video encoding, specifically H.264 video encoding. GPUs are catching up on that front. And NVIDIA has... What exactly have they been doing? Well, they've had the technology for a while to do H.264 or H.265 encoding directly on the GPU. The focus does seem to be more along the lines of H.265 just because it's the new format, it's the new kid in the block. It can work with so much more. It's way more robust in terms of the resolutions it can deal with. It can take Ultra HD. You can do Ultra HD H.264, but it's like the compression times will kill you, first of all. And honestly, quality's kind of shite. Like, I don't know, like H.264 to me, like, it looks okay, but like any higher than that, it's like, ugh. Like, what's the point? Okay, yeah, seems to be going. There we go. It does seem to be definitely moving slower here, which not unexpected. We have a remaining ETA of 4 minutes according to the blender here. So yeah, we're just gonna wait on that, I guess. Sorry, didn't mean to switch us into that. The show's not over yet. We're not taking a break. It's not over yet. Well, who's in the house? Let's see who's in the house. Let's take a second. Render break. Got 3 confirmed viewers. A couple different people here. Hope everyone's week is off to a great start. Monday is always a fun one to come back to. Yeah, Mondays suck because that's the level of discourse we're at now. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I don't know. It's 2020 now, and that's pretty weird. Now, anytime you watch 2020 on ABC, you'll be watching it in the year 2020. Does anybody know what happened to Barbara Walters? Like, I think she retired, but like, what's her deal lately? Is she like writing books? Is she like senile? Like, what's the deal with Barbara Walters? Like and subscribe and comment if you've heard of what's going on with Barbara Walters. I want to know. I'm sure many other people do as well. Hopefully we can solve this mystery. I hope we can come together as a country and solve the mystery of what Barbara Walters is doing right now. I don't know. It seems like an easier priority than, hey, let's de-escalate a conflict situation, which is what's going on now. Not that it's my responsibility to fix it. I just live in the world where it happens to be affected. So, yeah. It's all going to melt. And we're plugging away here over on the Blender render. Good old cycles on the CPU. Okay, I feel like we're just watching paint dry at this point. I almost just want to just end this stream, just be like, all right, friggin' end this, get rid of those resources, come back and be like, hey, yeah, it looks like this. I do have a frame I can show you, but I've also made some revisions in the last evening, and frankly, I want to see how they turned out. So let's see what happens on this frame here. It's looking pretty good so far, actually. There's a reflection in there. You'll see what this reflection is in a second. But that seems to have been rendered out pretty quickly, relatively speaking. Oh, extra depth of field stuff going on with the background, and I feel like that doesn't need to be the case. Kind of just makes it look like a miniature, and it's not supposed to be. Like, it's pretty big. You know, I don't want to give it too much credit here, but it's a city that's, you know, designed to have, you know, people, or not, you know, people, but, you know, aliens and beings in our dimension, roughly the same size. I don't know. Sure, it's not the most exciting science fiction concept in the world, but fuck it. You know, sometimes you just want to have fun. Sometimes you just want to, like, just design cool shit and, you know, make it reachable for people. And that way they can explore the deeper stuff on their own, which, you know, good luck to them. I remember there's one like, you know, realistic novel, a realistic hard sci-fi novel about an alien invasion, and it's the most boring fucking book I've ever read. I like, there's some parts of it which are just fucking gobbledygook for, you know, 25 pages. And, like, there's an alien language, and that's kind of cool, but, like, it goes to the point where it's just like, okay, like, push, like, this is just nonsense that you just, like, picked up. Like, I don't know. I don't want to say, like, Klingon's, like, you know, the thinking man's language or anything, but I don't know. At least there feels like there's purpose to it. This is just almost just masturbatory in its sense. Fun fact, though, that's a book that, I forget who wrote it, but Larry Niven was the other writer of it. I don't know, you can tell, like, he's actually pretty good with, you know, sort of fictional extraterrestrial cultures. If you haven't read Ringworld, that's pretty good. Some people say it's the inspiration for Halo. Maybe. I don't know. I've read it. I don't know. It didn't really scream Master Chief to me, personally. Anyway, so while I was chattering away there, looks like our CPU-based render finally just finished up. And this is with the cool compositing effects on it. So we got a big old lens flare here popping out. I'm really not liking the jagginess there on the edges. I think that's some aliasing. Well, I don't think that is it. No, there is some aliasing there. I don't know. That could be done better, though. I feel like this needs more fall off here, especially. Like, this, you need a smoother gradient. Like, it works real well here. Not amazing here, but do keep in mind that when the animation is done on this, like, we're going to be, you know, throwing some film grain and that sort of thing over the top. So, you know, there's some details that don't need to be necessarily, you know, nitpicked to death. Same thing with the noise here. I didn't do any denoising in Blender just because I'm planning on doing it in Neat Video in post. If you haven't heard of it, Neat Video is a very cool application designed specifically for the fucking painful task of denoising video, and it does a really great job on it. I've used it for no shortage of things, and I'm going to be using it here. When this animation ends up getting rendered out, I will show you guys some cool stuff to do with the footage within DaVinci Resolve. That's going to be pretty fun. I will enjoy showing you guys that. Also here, just to note a couple of things. So we do have reflections here. So we got some water texture going on. This is pretty sweet, actually. I think this is this is animated. I think it was intended for Eevee, but it actually does seem to work in cycles as well. I could be wrong in the reasons why that works, but in any case, it's kind of a cool effect. You don't really catch it as much in motion. Obviously, there's motion blur going on here, and there's just moving objects in the frame. But it just adds that extra bit, you know, that you don't always get if it's like a static reflecting pool of water. Yeah, what else? Yeah, the Sentency Cathedral's getting there. I need to come up with a cool, like, alien name for it, but I also don't want it to be, like, to the point where you're just like, who cares? Who cares? No, I don't want that. No. Not happening. Also here, let's actually dissect this a little bit, because this is actually quite a bit of work for me here, and it couldn't hurt to kind of go over what I did. Yeah. So anyway, so this is the image here, and then this is Blender's compositing node tree. So we have a couple different elements here that we used within this composite in particular. So image, output, exactly what it implies. It's just the straight out image. Ambient occlusion, that's, here, I can actually show you guys. Let's see, what was the command to do viewer? I want to see that. Was it that? Control Shift D? Where is it? Node. Let's see here. Yeah, here we go. Oh, you know what? Here, I'll just. I know there's like a command for it, but I don't remember what it is right now. So you guys are gonna have to deal with it. Sorry. Yeah, so anyway, AO, ambient occlusion, is just kind of like the self-shadowing, like kind of just the darker areas of the image that would be darker, even if it is in shadow. It's one of those things that, like, you don't think about it every day. Come back, so I don't have to redo everything. I don't want to redo everything. Come on. I should have just done it to the viewer node. But like a dingus, I messed that one up. Yeah, but anyway, I don't know. It's like it's one of those kind of very subtle things that you can't even notice. Like, I don't know. Like, you know what? Let's get rid of it for a second. Let's just go over what that would look like here. Oh, I broke it. Whoops. That's just a bunch of our illumination passes over the top. You know what, here, let's just do this. Okay, so we'll just bypass the output. That'll be fine. You know what? I can't even think of a good way to show you guys this. Maybe I should sit down and plan my tutorials. Well, I'm not really doing a tutorial. If I was, I'd be really bad at it. Thank God I'm not doing a tutorial. Let's see here. Let's go over some other components here. Oh, yeah, and then there's an environment output. So I'm not sure if I'm using it right. I'm just using it to generate that lens flare. So what I did was I actually took the output, and then just to show you guys what this looks like. Here we go. Yeah, so what it does is it just takes this section, this pass here, which excludes any sort of object that's present in the scene. It basically just takes the environment HDRI map, which is this beautiful sunset quarry sort of thing here. I'll show you guys that in a second here. But basically just takes that and renders it out as one pass. So that way you have distinct control over it. So what I did with that was I just took it and I fed it into, where was it? Here it is, yeah. So yeah, this is just generated off of the sun, actually. Threshold's been up so that it only isolates the pixels within that really, really super white region, which incidentally happens to be the sun. And so that way I don't have to do any motion tracking, which is always painful. I prefer not to do that if I don't have to. And yeah, it gave me just a nice mask to pull from. And other side effect is it actually affects the lens flare in a kind of interesting way. Especially when the sun kind of passes behind buildings. You do actually get an effect of that disappearing, pretty organically. So that's kind of cool. So basically what it is just this node, which is this glare star output sort of thing. Yeah, so like that, like cross, basically, a big X or a big cross or whatever. Yeah, it's just that, and then it's just feeding into this glare layer, which is basically just big thing of bloom. Like if we take the streaks out there, yeah, like that's all it is. It's just this kind of elliptic bright light, little close encounters lens flare sort of deal. But yeah. With your powers combined, you have lens flare. There it is. I think. So let's actually try a different compositing method here. So right now we're using lighten. See what screen does. That doesn't look great. Let's see. So my factor is still being determined off of that output. That almost looks just as shite. That's weird. I don't like what's going on there. If I do add, how does that look? Hey, that looks a lot better. I kind of like that a lot better. Let's use that to influence the factor. So that seems to be causing the issue here. So additive layer is basically just pixels being added on top of an existing value. So sometimes it can look great if you're doing like a lens flare or a blaster or something wacky like that. But in this situation, we want something more subtle, which actually, that is damn near perfect right there. Not too in your face. The edges aren't sharp. There's this just sort of, let's take a look, actually. Where's my window? Where is it? Can you tell me where it is? There it is. Oh, we need to re-render. Well, that would take forever again, and I don't feel like making you guys watch me crash my shit. So let's look at something else. Something a little different. I don't know what this is for quite yet. Let's see, turn off X-ray. Get a little rocket racer sort of deal. This one's definitely simpler, kind of more primitive. But got a couple of my favorite features on it, including the booms. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I like twin booms. One of my favorite appearances of the twin booms in an aircraft would be the Sea Vixen, the de Havilland Sea Vixen. This was a carrier-based fighter with a couple funky things on it. I think my favorite funky thing overall is just the design. Look at this! Look at this goofy thing. It's so like, okay. So just for your guys' reference here, so the cockpit is over here. And so what it is there's a pilot here. Pilot's right there. And then his co-pilot is right here. And the co-pilot has to lay down. I don't know about co-pilot. I think navigator or something. But yeah, the idea is they lay down. And then I think they see through the bottom. I'm not sure. It's been a minute since I've read the specs on this. But yeah, it's got that cool, kind of late 50s, early 60s double boom when that was still in style in aircraft. You don't really see that much anymore, for better or for worse. God, gorgeous. Anyway, that's how that works out here. So I think this is more of a space fighter than anything. Painted out in the Oakland A's colors, it looks like. Which, might be cool, might not. I don't know. All right, what else? What else is going on? Hypertunnel. This is an interesting thing. So you might be wondering, Brett, what the hell is this? Well, it's a hypertube. And so what it is just like stars, or subspace, or whatever you want to call it, so whatever FTL method you want to refer to it as. Why aren't we getting output? Is it really that bad? It might be bad. And it looks like I'm breaking my things. Excuse me just a moment. Sorry about that. Just had to check in an item there. Oh, what's going on? I don't understand. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on here. I'll deal with this on my own time. Okay. Well, let's save. Let's see. Let's look at something else. Is there anything you guys want to see? I don't know. Let's we haven't taken a look at the Utah class in a while. Let's see how we're going here. So I think at this point, okay, yeah. So I actually got a test animation out on this one. You guys will be seeing that in a couple weeks here. I'm pretty excited to get that out, but it is going to take some time because there's still some elements I need to build. Utah. Or wait, code epoxy? I think it's a Utah class. That is a Utah class, that's right. Okay, and I guess we just don't do GPU render right now. Alright. Cool. What is going on? I don't know why my UI is all fucked up, but it's weirding me out, man. It's getting me bummed. All right, you know what? Let's just see here. What happens if we switch to fucking Eevee? Here we go. I like Eevee. Eevee's nice. It's easy to use. But I don't know. You can just do so much more with cycles. Evidently, I'm pointed right at it, but I do not see it. Okay, so we must have a cutoff. And we do. Okay. Okay. Come on. Okay, well, I'm not quite sure what's going on, guys. I'm a little perturbed. Guess I can't really work if I can't see anything. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, you see it there, which is disappointing. Yeah, it's like not even that many like the Madalga scene has more faces than this, so I don't really understand what's going on here, Tiger. This is getting pretty itchy. God damn it. Ah. No. What is this? Oh, I did like nothing here. There's like a big hammer. It's kind of an interesting little dimension there. Profiles are always the key with spaceships. Also, while we're talking about spaceships, let's take a quick little detour here. Last week, a great man died. His name was Sid Mead. He was a concept artist who worked on a number of projects, notably Blade Runner, what else? Aliens, Tron, a couple Star Trek designs I think he did as well. Yeah, like everything kind of cool in science fiction in the last couple of years. He's pretty much come up with it. I think if it weren't for Sid Mead, we wouldn't have, the whole cyberpunk look. I don't think we would have had any sort of, I don't know, just it's hard to put into words, like just I don't know. Here we go. Here's a good example. But like this was. There we go. Like this is the shit right here. Like this is one of the original concept paintings for Blade Runner. And like this is before like the movie actually existed. Like he's the guy who came up with this sort of angular, geometric future. The cars, those are all him. A lot of just kind of just the look of things, the glow, the influence of Asian characters. A lot of that was him. Yeah, I mean, if you want, please look up Sid Mead's concept art because it's just spectacular. Um, yeah, and it wasn't just movies. Like this is like I think a concept art for the L.A. Civic Center in the future. He would just go and just do future things. There's definitely a lot of up and coming artists now. To the point where I think we've got other contenders out there. But it's like, he was the granddaddy of it all. The spinner. We wouldn't have the spinner if it weren't for this man. Well, Sid Mead. God bless. All right, guys. Well, so I don't have a whole lot going on here tonight, and honestly, I think I think I gotta move my system to Windows here if I ever want to get work done and stream with you guys here. Um, yeah, just because having to utilize GPU here is kind of causing some issues here, and I think it might be because I'm streaming. I don't know. Maybe I just need to get a streaming machine, and maybe I need to invest in this further. Mysteries. Who can say? Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna keep streaming any night I'm home this week. I'm not gonna be home tomorrow or Wednesday, but Thursday I'll probably do some streaming. Friday, if I'm not doing anything, we'll stream as well. Let me know if there's anything you guys are interested in seeing in particular, like whether it is in Blender or whether it's in another application. Like, maybe we might do some Photoshop here. Do some digital painting. It's been a while since I've done that, mostly because I've thrown myself at the 3D stuff for the last couple months now. It's fun, but it doesn't hurt to do things that are different. And I'd love to do some more Resolve stuff with you guys, but also that's super GPU centric. So I think we're gonna have to switch over to the Windows system. If we want to do that, we will. The NAS arrives next week, so I'm gonna get that set up. Hopefully that doesn't take 3 years to populate, which it will, but we can hope. We'll see. In the meantime, yeah, guys, keep inviting me into your homes. I'm gonna get out of here for right now. Thanks for watching. I'm sorry I didn't have a whole lot tonight, but we're gonna keep after this. We're gonna get into some cooler stuff pretty soon here. Yeah. All right. I think we're set. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining me tonight, and I'll see you all soon.